What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. And in today's video, Clodsire has come, and so have I. We're looking at Clodsire in the Great League, and I featured it on the team here with Shadow Sableye and Shadow Steelix around it, looking to use the Steelix as a safe swap to pull out those hard answers to Clodsire, to let Clodsire sweep with shields. Now, Clodsire definitely was nerfed before we got it. It was supposed to have Poison Jab and also access to Surf on the charge moves. So, even though it's not as good as it could have been, I still think it's very strong, just not nearly as, it doesn't have that same mwah as it could have if it was not nerfed. But we're still going to see how it performs in the Great League. Let's get into the games here, featuring Clodsire in the Great League, starting off with a lead into a Swampert. Now, what I've noticed, everybody, is the day that Clodsire was released, which was this past Sunday, almost the entirety of the Great League was like, let's all dunk on Clodsire. So I did have some very difficult games here because I was running the Clodsire, and a lot of people were running things in the lead and in the back that are strong to it, just like how it was when we got Carbink. Look, there's a Swampert in the lead and a Gligar in the back. What am I supposed to do? Well, I'm going to use my Steelix because I can still survive digs here. I can shield if I need to. My opponent makes a very nice bait. I honestly, I was like, this is probably an aerial ace bait, but at the very last second, I second-guessed myself and shield. Opponent shields right back, however, and we're going to be able to continue going for Dragon Tails, which hit much harder than the wing attacks. And at this point, because they're debuffed, I'm like, I'll take a dig. It's fine. The Swampert in the back is quite low. The opponent not going to be able to get to another charge move. As I'm timing my moves, I get 3 Dragon Tails in before they can get to 5 of their own moves. And I'm going to be able to get the full farm down here, at least I thought, before they get to the aerial ace. But it's fine at this point. They're low enough. Then I'm going to actually come in with my Clodsire here and farm down. Now, you'll notice I'm running Mud Shot on my Clodsire. I think that both fast moves are fine. You're going to wish you had the other whenever you need it, as always. There was several times where I wish I had Poison Sting, and then there was also times where I was glad I had Mud Shot. So it's just going to become a matter of what you're facing. Like, you know, as you see Superior, you're going to wish you had Poison Sting. You see Lantern and Alolan Sandslash and other Steel types, you're going to wish that you had the Mud Shot. Like this right here, the opponent brings in their Alolan Sandslash, as that is their third answer to the Clodsire. However, they do shield up, but I just need to make sure I can get to one more Earthquake. We're going to see how much damage the Ice Punch does to Clodsire, and spoiler alert, it's not as much as you think. Does about 40%. Opponent does not have a move ready, and that means we're going to be starting off with a bang here. Earthquake hitting that Alolan Sandslash right where it hurts, and that's going to be a good first game. Well played. Into the next battle, we have our Shadow Sableye on the lead against a Deoxys. Very, very good lead. Whole team has a lot of play here against Deoxys because everything just, like, the ground types resist the charge moves that aren't Psycho Boost, and Sableye just dominates it. So opponent comes in with their own Steelix here, and what I do is I stay in with my Sableye, looking to tank a Breaking Swipe before swapping out to my own Steelix. Now, they are 1 ahead of my Steelix on energy, so they could get to the Earthquake before I do, but instead they just opted to throw Breaking Swipe, which was odd to me. I would have expected them to go straight for the Earthquake, maybe bait, because they do outpace me, but they are going to go straight Breaking Swipe here, maybe hoping that they don't get one shot by Earthquake, but either way. So, you know, once again, a team that doesn't seem like it's super strong against Clodsire, as Deoxys is not an anti-Clodsire by most means. Opponent comes back in with the Deoxys here, saving a little bit of HP on their Steelix, and it's pretty much just used there for a sack swap. So the opponent may be trying to lure out my Sableye here. And because I can't swap yet, I'm just staying in, going to go for 2 Breaking Swipes. Opponent has a bunch of energy here, and I'm going to bring in my Sableye now that they've been double debuffed after I go down. I'm not going to look to give up my switch clock here. I'm just going to let my Steelix go down because I know that my Clodsire with 2 shields is extremely solid regardless of what's in the back. So, Deoxys is going to fire off a move here. I'm going to just tank it. It's a Psycho Boost. I'm kind of like, huh? I thought maybe they would throw like a Thunderbolt or something, but they go for another charge move, and I'm like, okay, that's probably all their energy here. And they have another Psycho Boost loaded. Like, holy heck, how much energy did this Deoxys have? So I have to give up one of my shields because I do want to keep my Sableye alive. I want to be able to see what their final Pokemon is before they get to see my Clodsire. So gonna let the Deoxys is gonna go down. They bring in a Lickitung, and at this point, I'm like, all right, well, I've never played this matchup before, so you and I are gonna find out together how Clodsire handles Lickitung in the 1 shield. On PvPoke, it is a loss. So we're going to have to see exactly how this unfolds here. I'm going to go for a Sludge Bomb. I'm not sure what moves do how much damage. This is my first set of battles with Clodsire. So in hindsight, maybe should have gone for the Earthquake because it does do more damage, but I'm just going for Sludge Bomb here because I just want to get rid of the shield. And the opponent still not shielding. So at this point now I can just go for Sludge Bombs, honestly. It might not have mattered in hindsight. Body Slams, like, they're not doing very much. We still both have a shield. I'm just waiting for them to catch. So my whole idea there was to farm up to 2 Sludge Bombs, and I figured they would try to catch at some point. Because they have the Steelix in the back, it's almost completely obvious that they're going to do it. So over-farming intentionally when I have that shield is what I plan to do here. Now I have 2 Sludge Bombs. That's going to be able to KO the opponent's Lickitung. That's going to be a good game. Now, Clodsire does lose CMP to Lickitung and quite a few other things that you wouldn't think it would, so you got to be careful. But GG's and good, well played. Getting into the next battle here, we're going to have our Shadow Sableye against the Nidoqueen. Very good lead because we're resisting the poison damage and we outpace. Opponent goes for a Lickitung save swap, and I immediately bring in my Steelix here as I see the Lick animations. And Lickitung has messed me up, man. Now, every time I see literally any normal type on the save swap, my brain just, Lickitung. It's got to be Lickitung, and you're going to see why that's a problem a little bit later on in the video. But, man, just sometimes it's just so frustrating. You're like, man, I know exactly what this is. And they're like, nope, it's something else entirely. But it's fine. Going to be able to deal with this Lickitung pretty nicely. The Breaking Swipe from Steelix makes this a very, very tolerable matchup. And honestly, this is fine. You can go for Power Whip. Doesn't really matter. It's not doing hardly any damage at this point. Trying to keep track of their energy. Gonna go for another Breaking Swipe right before they would get to a Body Slam that could KO me. I don't even think it would KO, but I don't want to give them the option. So they come in with the Nidoqueen here, and because I'm double resisting the Poison Jabs, I'm going to try to reach for the Earthquake, but I don't think I'm going to get there. So instead, I just opt for some chip damage with the Breaking Swipe. Again, my Sableye is looking pretty good here. We both have 2 shields. I might be able to get to the Breaking Swipe thanks to the attack drop from Breaking Swipe. I was able to get to 1 more before going down. The Nidoqueen has 1 HP and a Dream left. I've got 2 full Pokemon and 2 shields. Let's see what they've got. It's a Diggersby. Opponent running ABA Ground. This is another trainer who says, I don't care what happens. I'm destroying Clodsire. They core break the last 2 pieces of the Diggersby core breaks my entire team. Let's be honest. I'm not. Let's be completely real about this situation. Okay, this doesn't. It doesn't matter what it like. Both of these, all 3 of these Pokemon get bent by Diggersby, which is becoming fairly common now, which is a bit of a problem. So, I did have, for those of you still watching, I'm sure that somebody has asked me in the comments already about alternatives for the team. I did look at maybe things like Mandibuzz and Jellicent in Sableye's place. So you don't have a Shadow Sableye, that's okay. You could even use a non-Shadow Sableye if you wanted to. I'm going for a bait here. I'm not really sure what happened with the fast moves. It all kind of didn't make sense. I definitely threw an extra fast move than I was supposed to, and then they CMP tied me, and that was just a pain. So, opponent does shield up. I still have a shield. I'm hoping that this Earthquake is enough, but I lose CMP again. And, I mean, let's be honest, you know this isn't going to be enough. It's a Diggersby, plus they just got the attack drop. If they don't get that attack drop, I think I win this. No, I don't win this game. Because let's remember that the Nidoqueen has a loaded amount of energy in the back and is just ready. So, yeah, there's nothing. I don't think there's a win con for me here. The opponent just made a very, very strong team into mine. Not much I could have done here. So, good game. Well played to them. Into the next battle here, we're going to look at Deoxys on the lead yet again. And I'm looking good here against this entire team, pretty much as far as the Deoxys. But here comes a Vigoroth, and I think it's a Lickitung, and my brain just auto-swaps in Steelix. I definitely think I should have just stayed in with Sableye, at least at first, and then maybe come in with Steelix after either getting a shield or landing a foul play or something. Because this is not a... I mean, it's a winnable matchup because my opponent doesn't go for Bulldoze, but, like, I don't know, man. But, like, they didn't go for Bulldoze because they didn't build up to it, right? They only built up to 8. And so that's one of those important skills that as you're getting better as a battler, you want to be working on keeping track of those energy costs and how much energy the opponent has amassed in their fast moves. That is something that I do offer as a lesson over on Metafy for coaching, which I do offer if anybody's interested in trying to improve their gameplay or, you know, reach the next rank, or just learn more about the mechanics of the game so that they themselves can improve at the game, go shoot on over to Metafy. And also, if you want to become a member of the YouTube channel and join the Patreon, both of those will get you access to my exclusive Discord, where I have all of my teams, my tactics, my basically every info dump that I could think of is in that Discord, and it's also a wonderful, awesome community of people. Now, Clodsire is looking really strong here, as the opponent has a Deoxys in the back and an Obstagoon here. And Obstagoon does a pitiful amount of damage with Night Size. Look at this. Tink! Doesn't hurt hardly at all, but they do get the attack drop, or boost. I should say attack boost. So I'm going to just go ahead and shoot off this Earthquake. Thank goodness it KOs, because I did not want to have to shield, and my opponent immediately concedes. That's a good game. We're getting into the next battle here with our Sableye against a Medicham. Lots of good leads, a lot of ghost positive leads here. Medicham, I definitely prefer to see this, especially when they've decided not to swap out. My opponent staying into committing to the Shadow Sableye matchup, which tells me for sure that there is something in the back that does not want to see Sableye. Could be their own poison type, could be maybe they're running like Deoxys in the back. There's a great many things that could be back there. I'm going to stay in once again with my Sableye against this Lantern. My opponent swapping should have taken a turn, but it looks like it was a CMP there. But it's 6 to both of these moves. I'm locked into a CMP, so I have to let it go at this point. The Medicham is at a point where I think I can handle it with my other 2 Pokemon. I'm down a Shield, unfortunately, and I am going to have to take a Surf on my Steelix. But I'm looking to get a farm down here and hope to sweep with Clodsire. Even though I'm down a Shield, it's going to fully depend on what my opponent's got in the back here. I do feel like I might be in a bit of a pickle depending on what that third Pokemon is, and it's an Alolan Marowak. I'm full sending the Earthquake, folks. I got no other win condition. Clodsire can go for it, but boom! We land the Earthquake, and truthfully, Clodsire would have been in a position to win that game just because it has that Earthquake. So we probably would have been good here. And because I was running Mud Shot, so good game. All right, into the next battle we go here. We've got Sableye lead versus a Kanto Ninetales. This is a pretty even matchup here, honestly. I go for the foul play immediately because I want to pressure them into throwing their energy, but they overfarm here. Stay hydrated, folks. Opponent shields up and then does go for a Weather Ball right before I would get to a second foul play. So I'm going to shield in kind here, and I'm going to hope that maybe we can strip both shields off of these. But my opponent goes for a very nice catch here. Knowing that I was going to throw right away, they saved the energy on the Ninetales, maybe reading that I am weak in the back to the Ninetales, which I was. My Steelix definitely does not want to see a Kanto Ninetales. So I bring in my Steelix here as per usual against the Lickitung mashups. And at this point, because I'm so far ahead on damage, HP, energy, all of it, what I'm looking to do here is absorb whatever energy this person throws at me with their Lickitung, and then I'm going to farm all the way down here so that I can threaten with an Earthquake against the Kanto Ninetales when it comes back in. I will have to spend a shield in order to do it, but that's what I want to do because it feels like the best way to snowball. So my opponent comes in with the Ninetales. I CMP tie them with a Breaking Swipe. At this point, even a Breaking Swipe would come close to KOing. Plus, you know, it's just like they either have to shield or they're basically going to lose their Ninetales. So opponent gives up the shield, swaps into a Superior, and I go for the Breaking Swipe because Clodsire does lose straight up with Mud Shot, I believe. I think it needs Poison Sting to win this matchup, but because I have the Breaking Swipe buff, debuff applied to the Superior, the Frenzy Plant doesn't do all that much. So this is okay for me. I just need to get to 2 Sludge Bombs here. I have a shield. Opponent's Ninetales is pretty much energy dry after CMP tying me with that move. And it's like, this is right here. This is where I wish I had Poison Sting. Because the farm that I would have gotten would have, the damage from the fast moves would have been enough to be able to take out the Superior by now, I'm pretty certain. So I'm going for the Sludge Bomb here, and I made sure to overfarm enough to be able to get to the move before the opponent could, and that's going to be a good game. Jumping into the next battle here, we're going to have our Sableye against another Medicham. Just catching a lot of strong leads here with the Sableye, which is really good. I always like to see my Sableye getting good leads here because, honestly, I just recently built the Shadow Sableye, and I really like using it. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, if you don't have a Shadow Sableye, you could certainly look to use something like Jellicent or Mandibuzz. Wouldn't be awful here. Obviously, you're going to get core broken by a few things, but I think that the number of things that core breaks you is not nearly as bad. I just wanted to make sure that I had a really dominant answer to things like Metacham and Deoxys and the like, because they could cause a problem in the back line potentially. But you could also, you know, for Steelix, I almost considered running like Sludge Wave Swampert in the back as a safe swamp just to screw with the grass types, man. I thought about it. But Steelix is really strong. You could also run Diggersby as well if you wanted to. You could even just straight up go Super ABB and go with a Nidoqueen in the back on the safe swap, and then run some sort of dark in the front. It could be like, you know, Mandibuzz, or it could be Sableye itself. Just a few things. Now, opponent is down to 0 shields to my 2. I just need to go for an Earthquake here. One of those situations where I prefer to have the Mud Shot because it deals that slight amount of extra damage. Honestly, though, it's doing so little damage, I wonder if Poison Sting would do the same amount of damage anyway. It really doesn't seem like it's doing any extra damage from the Earthquake, or from the, we gotta do it. Boom! It doesn't really seem like it's doing any extra damage from the amount that's coming out of those Mud Shots. It really doesn't. I love the little thing that... Is it? I don't know what that is that comes out of Clodsire. Somebody in the comments let me know what's coming out of Clodsire's back. Is that its rib cage or something? Like, that looks like horrific. Anyway, I have to shield here. I can't 2-shield flex. I do intend to win the game, so opponent does get a shield off of me here, but 1 foul play is going to be more than enough to KO here, and this is going to be a good game, by the way. Well played. Getting into the next game here against a legend player, Sableye versus Sableye in the mirror. Now, here's the deal. My Sableye has an attack weight to it. I specifically built this Shadow Sableye to win CMP and also be able to get a lot of break points in certain matchups because of its higher attack stats. So, my opponent will have to find out at some point that they lose CMP. I'm willing to put down my first shield because I would reckon they're either going to try to catch the next move or they're going to go and CMP me and they will lose the CMP. And at this exact point, I am okay with letting this go after getting this shield. My opponent's either going to, they have to shield or they're going to let it go. So my opponent looking to win switch. Now, here's the thing. Recently, I think Zionic and a couple other content creators, it was on the PvPoke training page. Very common team that I've seen behind Sableye is Shadow Venusaur, Shadow Alolan Sandslash. Because of this, I am going to save my shield and I come in with my Steelix to farm down. My opponent does not want to let me farm all the way down, so they come in with their Venusaur, and at this point, I'm almost 100% certain that that Sandslash is back there. So, I'm going to save my Clodsire for it. I'm going to go in with a Breaking Swipe. I've kind of seen how much damage I've done already. I should be very close to being able to farm down. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this 1 shield. I'm going to farm down with the Clodsire. I don't even have to shield, actually, because they're double debuffed. I decided not to shield. Save the shield, farm down with the Clodsire's Mud Shots, and then the opponent just concedes because they know it's back. There was a slash back there, and you and I both know it. Carbink in the lead here. Not such a great lead. Immediately swapping into my Steelix, my opponent goes into their Metacham here, and I'm going to go for the Breaking Swipe as per usual. This is one of those situations where my Sableye feels kind of useless if it's lined up against the Carbink. I know it's not completely useless, but Power Gem doesn't do as much damage as I want it to. So my opponent has Ice Punch here, and something that I remember from early season playing Steelix is if the opponent doesn't shield anything, you can flip this if they don't have like Dynamic Punch or Power Up Punch. So I see the opportunity here to go down shields and take switch. And unfortunately, my opponent doesn't get the move off here. Or fortunately for me, I'm going to get the move off here. But I can't get to an Earthquake with my Steelix, so I'm going to have to settle for the Breaking Swipe. But I do get switch advantage, even though I'm down a shield, which is really good because now I can stick my Clodsire on here. And now the opponent brings in Superior, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had the Poison Sting, dude. So we go for a Sludge Bomb. I'm trying to get a shield off of the opponent here, which thankfully we do. I'm coming in with my Sableye because this is where it needs to be used. Sableye needs to just get a foul play off. The damage, oh my god, it hurts so bad, dude. The damage from the Shadow Claws, I'm hoping, will be enough to make up for the amount of damage that I am not doing with the Mud Shots, but I don't think this is going to be quite enough. My opponent not debuffed this time. I have to shield. This is definitely going to be the hardest hitting move left in the game, and they go for the Aerial Ace, and they bait me, and I'm just like, no! Oh, I had a feeling in the back of my head that they might bait me there, but they made a very good play to do it. Going straight for the Sludge Bomb. Opponent, do they get knocked out by the Sludge Bomb? No, they don't. I wish I had the Poison Sting! The short part of the story, folks, is after these games, I'm switching to Poison Sting. So what I need to do, because the opponent has some energy on their superior, I need to build up to 2 charge moves here, and I need to be able to KO the Bink and get to a Sludge Bomb before the opponent. So I'm going to go for the Sludge Bomb here because I don't want them to get to a Rock Slide before I can get to a move. Sludge Bomb doesn't quite do it. Even with the Mud Shot, doesn't quite do it. Opponent is able to go for the Rock Slide, and that's going to be, unfortunately, a very good but close game. Well played to them. They did that. They played that very well. Run Poison Sting on your Clodsires. We get a Swampert on the lead in the last game here. Opponent, once again, playing a team strong here. What I like to do is I like to try and CMP the Swampert because my Sableye normally wins CMP. I've actually found out that it's very IV dependent. High-ranked Swamperts will lose CMP, whereas more attack-weighted ones will win against my Sableye, so it's very close. But more often, I win CMP than not, and I know I can tank 1 Hydro Cannon. Opponent, though, has built up to the... Never mind, they didn't. I was hyping it up for no reason. I was thinking of a different game where the opponent did actually build up to the Earthquake in the second one, and I thought they were just going to show off the Hydro Cannon, and then they got me. So I immediately swap in my Steelix here. I'm like... Man, I don't want them to farm down my Sableye because they did shield, so it makes sense. I have to swap out, use my shield. They still get to another Hydro Cannon because Swampert always has just enough energy to get you at the end. That hurts a lot. Opponent comes in with their Shadow, or not a Shadow, they come in with a Sableye, and I'm like, oh boy, it's another team that's triple strong Clodsire, so we're going to have to just hope and see what happens here. Able to get to the Breaking Swipe here with good timing. Opponent getting pretty low at this point. Again, they have no shields left. Their Swampert's dry. And I'm going to get 2 more Dragon Tails off on this thing before I'm going to be able... Now, the opponent has energy loaded, so I go for 1 move, and then I swap to my Sableye because the opponent was more like... I just like a gut feeling, right? They're likely to go 1 and then throw. So I decide to go ahead and try to catch on my Sableye because I have no shields left, and if I can avoid this damage, that would be nice. Plus, they're double debuffed, right? But my opponent comes in with a Togedemaru, and I'm like, wait, there's a chance! We can win the game! And so we throw the Earthquake. Boom! And Togedemaru goes down, and suddenly a triple counter team is now getting farmed down. Well, not triple, it's a double counter team. Gets farmed down by Clodsire, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to the opponents in these games. Again, I did play a collection of battles today with my Clodsire that I've got. Got blessed with the rank 1, got blessed with a Hundo, got blessed with quite a few things. I went out with some friends and played today, and it was overall very good. I think I got everything that I was looking for, so very thankful for that. Let me know in the comments how your comm day went. I'd hope that you guys were able to get high-ranking whoopers and things. I know that a lot of people were saying, like, it's the weather boost, and I was like, oh, no, that's awful. But was able to play a bunch of good games here with Clodsire. It was very difficult navigating some of the metas. I had a couple good sets and a couple not good sets, so I just wanted to get the games together that really showcased what Clodsire is all about and what really let this team shine. There were definitely games where I just got completely hard countered and obliterated, which happens, right? But anyway, that's going to be it for me for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.